Jasmine, welcome to the content condo.
Hello.
Welcome to Miami.
Hello.
Yeah, I bet you're enjoying some of the weather.
I am. Honestly, I'm loving the weather. You guys know how London is. So, yeah, this is a dream. But I
Yeah.
also just love connecting with the people. So, I think that's even more
So, what
incredible.
brings you to Miami?
The people, a lot of the work I'm doing with Bishop
Okay.
currently. But I do tend to travel to the States quite a bit for work
Okay.
because I do content creation full time. So in doing that, I do a lot of collaborations. I do a lot of collaborations with hotels, travel brands, fashion brands, beauty brands, and so forth.
Sure. So, I see you popping on social media. Tell me a little bit of specifically, tell the people like what type of content do you do when you talk about these brands you're working with? Just,
Hmm.
tell the people a little bit more about, what's behind Jasmine.
Okay, so where do I start? So I'll give you some backstory. So initially, I was a publicist for about 6 to 7 years. I was working in the influencer marketing space. I was working in the talent space. But then I got to a point where I was like, I'm doing all these things for brands and talent, but why don't I do it for myself? That was sort of my thing. I was like, I'm growing these client accounts. I need to do it for myself. So 2024, I decided to strategize, worked on my own social media, and then I grew my social media from 6K to about 50K in under a year.
Okay.
And I also monetized within the first month. And that was when it blew my mind because I said to myself, I just made my month's paycheck in a week.
So, when you say you monetize, are you talking
Yeah.
specifically on Instagram you started to monetize?
Yes, on Instagram, TikTok, both of
Okay.
those.
And there's a lot of, people, the definition of monetize
Yeah.
often gets mixed, misconstrued. So tell me, what does it actually mean to be monetized?
Okay. So there's different avenues in which you can monetize. For instance, some people go down the affiliate route and some people go down the brand collaborations or D2C marketing when it comes to, putting out your own offer.
Okay.
For me, when I first started out, one of the things that came to me was a brand partnership, but it was a hybrid contract. So I was getting affiliate and a flat fee.
Okay.
And it blew my mind because initially I was only doing this for about a month. Yeah.
And because you grew, and how many followers did you have at the
At
time?
that point. Oh, yeah, that's a good question. So I went from about 6K to 10K within a
So you
month.
had about 10,000 followers and you were
Yes,
still being reached out to for this affiliate marketing sponsorships, plus the flat fee. So for every
exactly.
sign up, so people that don't know what that is, for every sign up, you get
Yes.
a commission.
Yes. Or for every product that is sold,
Yes.
you get a commission. But the flat fee, obviously, some affiliate content creators, they don't get a flat fee.
Right.
And it's about being able to show your leverage, being able to
Sure.
show, your return on investment, because that's very important as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of people think that to be able to start getting these sponsorships, to be able to really start getting monetized, you have to have a massive following.
No,
You're an example with just 10,000 followers.
at that point,
You were
yeah.
probably able to make a decent
Yeah.
coin at that. Just first starting to get into the game, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And something I will add is I want content creators to realize do not sleep on affiliate marketing. It's one of the easiest ways to make an income and it's residual. You're going to sleep, wake up, and you're going to see money continually falling into your account. So
Yes.
for me, I always say to everyone, because I coach a few different creators and they're always cynical about coming across as a salesperson, but that's all within your strategy. How you work your strategy, what your tactics are, you can definitely combat that, but do not sleep on it because it's so simple.
Yes. And if you're a good creator, you're not going to come across as you're selling to your people. You're going to be like,
Exactly.
"Oh, everyone, I use this amazing product when I'm traveling. Like this is how I've been able to do it."
Spot
You know what
on.
I mean?
You integrate it into your content. You make it natural. Sometimes I always say there's different strategies you can use, but one of the amazing ways is when your audience is constantly asking for things, because that's what happens with me. A lot of my audience tells me what they want. I find my next content piece is always in my comments. I always say, look for your brief in your comments.
Yes.
And that is what I would do. So I basically was just delivering value that I already knew they were looking for.
Yeah. And then, that's amazing because you talk about in your comments because that's where your audience is. It's in your comments. So if your audience is trying to tell you something, listen.
Precisely. And I think it's the best thing because when you think about brands, they're always doing a lot of research, trying to figure it out. They're trialing and testing, A/B testing, all of that. But you're one step ahead when you have this community. You just have to know how to tap into that, how to actually speak to your audience. It's important.
Yes, I mean, obviously, and again, that kind of goes in. If you're really as good as you think you are, then this should be natural for you.
Exactly.
It should be natural. So,
Yes.
one thing that I know a lot of creators struggle with, myself included, is
Mm-hmm.
like it's so hard to do everything. And
Yes.
to be a good creator, you kind of have to be everywhere doing
Yeah.
everything. All right.
Yeah.
So you mentioned, so once you got like 10,000
Mm-hmm.
on Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
did you keep investing in your Instagram? Or, I mean, obviously you did, but did you also now expand to other platforms as well? Like, when do you expand? When do you branch out?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So for me, I was growing them simultaneously. So TikTok and Instagram, I just repurposed the content, rejigged it a bit, made it fit for native for that platform. And then I posted it. And, to my surprise, everything was growing at the same time. But I will give you some backstory also. With my TikTok, I do a lot more talking content. With my Instagram, I fixate on aesthetics. And there's a reason for that because different platforms require different content.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then how did you learn that? Did you learn it from trial and error, or did you just know that in advance from where your audience was geared, or?
No, I think I had an advantage when it came to social media because I had worked within that space for quite a long time. So I had worked
Yeah.
on the client side, the brand talent side, and I was doing this prior. And I would say that helped me to understand strategy and the psychology behind what goes into social media. And I'm still learning. I love social media because it's all about evolving and it's constantly changing.
Yeah.
But that was the thing that kind of helped me out to realize I had been studying these platforms for years.
You've been doing it for other people. It's time you do it for yourself.
Self,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was it. And that really helped
It
me.
took off. So, and now you probably have a number of clients as
Mm-hmm,
well.
mm-hmm,
So how do you manage, like, I mean, so you're really all into social media. How do you
mm-hmm,
manage kind of like yourself compared to like some of your other clients? Are they all
mm-hmm.
kind of in the same universe, same orbit, or
Okay. So now I'm a full-time content creator
for yourself
for
and yourself
myself,
only?
and
So you're
myself
not taking
only.
on like new clients or anything?
No, I coach creators. So now I
Okay.
have one-to-ones, mentor sessions with creators. But before that,
But you're not taking over anyone's channels or anything
no.
like that.
So not
Okay.
now. No, not now. Because sometimes as well, I feel like when you decide to go full time in content, you have to give it everything and you have to
Yeah.
feel like there's no plan B. I always say when you want to go through full throttle with something, no plan B.
Okay.
Go fully. Yeah.
Okay. And one thing I'm curious about, you're based in the UK.
Yes.
We're here in Miami, where
Yes.
everyone is a creator, everyone's doing content, everyone's trying
Yeah.
to push something.
Yeah.
I'm curious, is it like that in the UK? I assume it's not fully like it is here. So also, how is content kind of different over the
Yeah.
pond?
Okay. So I've always been pretty inspired by the US content creators
Okay.
because there's a lot of things that US people conduct themselves like that I feel like motivates the UK people, if that makes sense. But I would say for the UK creators, we're just how can I put it? There is still saturated. There's still a lot of creators trying to figure it out. I think that's across board. But is there a difference? I think there's a difference in what trends, but not a difference in the work ethic and just trying to make
Okay.
it happen. But I will add, my American creator friends, they're a lot more business savvy. I come to realize that they are about their money. Whereas in the UK, you can get, this is controversial to some degree, but I don't feel like they think about it from the business perspective all the time. It's like, okay, there's a gifting, I'm just going to take it. Whereas a lot of my American creators, they're like, okay, but what are the numbers? Okay, what am I going to get paid?
Yeah.
And that's where I've been heeding to and taking my advice from, because you have to be paid your value. And that's sometimes what I always try and chime on about when it comes to working with UK creators. I'm like, I know you want to work with the brand. I know you want to collaborate, but you also deserve the value, because there's nowhere in life where you would work for zero amounts of money
No.
ever.
No.
Yeah.
And that's I guess it's good to hear, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
as an American creator,
Mm-hmm.
that we're more business savvy.
Yeah.
Because there's literally just this afternoon, someone, called me and they were asking for like my press pack, show me your numbers, show me your
Yeah.
analytics before kind of giving a sponsorship
Mm-hmm.
or a deal or whatever it was. So that's definitely unique and good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little bit about, you've been doing this for a while now,
Now, yes.
growing your personal brand, your personal
Mm-hmm.
social media.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of like the biggest things? You already gave us a few gems, but like, what are
Mm-hmm.
some of the biggest things that you've learned from doing it from just part time to now going all in full time? Like, what's the difference? What did you learn?
So, okay. So I would say,
I know it's a loaded question,
yeah, it's a
so
loaded question. So what have I learned from going part-time to full? When you go full-time, if you're not careful, you have to be doing what you love. Because if you're not doing what you love and you're just trying to jump on trends, you will burn out because it's not authentic.
right,
I think when you're doing something part-time, your heart, you might be in it, but you treat it more like a passion, right? But
yeah,
when it becomes your job, you apply a certain level of discipline, and the feeling becomes amplified.
yeah. You doing it. You got no other option.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that shows up in your work. It
Okay.
shows up in your ethic. It shows up in the way that you want it to just work out. You want it to be perfect. So you've really got to rein on what content you want to be doing. That's what I would say.
Okay. No, I mean that totally makes sense. You can kind of transition that to basically anything. Once you're doing the
Mm-hmm.
full time, the mentality changes around you, and you're kind of doing it not
Mm-hmm.
just like on the side, but you're doing it, because you got to do it to live. Um,
Exactly.
so also tell the people a little bit about like what can we look forward to seeing from you in the future? Like what do you have coming up? You're here in Miami. You say you travel a
Yeah.
lot. Like what can the people look forward to?
Okay, so well, I'm looking forward to it as well, but just constant, like seeing my brand evolve, seeing
Yeah.
where I'm taking it. As I said, me as a creator, one of the things that I was quite fearful of when it came to doing content was being pigeonholed. And I knew how many people kept saying, niche down, niche down, niche down. But I was like, I'm such a multifaceted creator, and I didn't want to lose elements of myself. So I was like, how can I make that into a brand and give that to my audience and kind of find the people that gravitate to that? So in saying that, you're going to see a lot more of me talking, because I'll give you some backstory. Prior to growing my fashion brand, I was actually on podcasts. That's how I grew to 6K. I was talking about,
Yeah.
relationships, upbringing, trauma, those sorts of things. And a lot of my audience did like hearing me speak. So now what I've got coming up is a blend of all of that. So I'm going to be making it a whole entire
That's really
brand.
cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's cool. So I mean, you're kind of hitting them from 360 degrees. That's
Yes.
the idea. You're kind of
Doing.
tying everything together into one. Okay, that's a really smart idea.
Yes.
One thing. So I mean, you talk about how you've really been able to kind of grow your following.
Mm-hmm.
So is that from just kind of growing it consistently, or is that just a few videos that go viral where you get like a big dump of followers? Like, how did you actually grow that following?
That's a good question. So after I done like my brand strategy and I went through all of the processes to figure out what my audience wanted from me, it was a growth. Although it was quite, it's been consistent, it was still a growth that I felt was evolving through, consistency, was evolving
Okay.
through me constantly putting out content and refining according to what my
Okay.
audience liked. But one thing I would say is I stuck with the same content consistently so that the algorithm understood
Okay.
my content.
Okay. So it was more of a linear growth.
Yes, but still quite rapid.
And then, but still rapid. Okay. Because,
Yes.
some people, they'll get like one video that gets 10 million views and it'll
Yeah.
just blow up like that. But then all the other videos have like 5,000 or
Yeah,
something like that.
it
And it's
wasn't like
just,
that.
it wasn't like that.
No.
Okay. Which I guess is credit to the consistency.
Mhm.
That like when you kind of build something that has staying power, that's what it's going to look like. It's going to look more linear rather than just like spikes and quick spurts.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And that ties into when I say you have to love what you're doing. You have to be passionate. I think when you're just jumping on trends and virality, that's when you can't keep it up. It's
Yeah.
very hard to continue on that scale.
Amazing, amazing. Well, Jazzmine, Thank you for coming by the Content Condo. Have you ever seen a studio like this?
No, I love it. I love it. It's just a vibe.
I'm glad you're singing on a beautiful day.
Yes.
I think I think it's important to do something different, whatever you're doing.
Yes.
So that's kind of what we're trying to do here is make something unique, make something different. Tell the people, where can they find you?
So you can find me at Jazzmine Maria on TikTok and Instagram. That's JAZZMINEMARIA.
Jazzmine, best of luck with your time here in Miami, United States. Good luck going back overseas.
Thank you.
And we hope to welcome you to the Content Condo again very soon.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
All right. We're going to talk to you guys soon.